Well, for the first time in many weeks, Dalton trustees and Mayor Tiffany Henyard held a public meeting together, but not at Village Hall.
A Dalton home that she leased to Mayor Tiffany Henyard has filed eviction papers. She says Henyard has not.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois, has quickly become a figure of controversy, earning the nickname Supermayor from some. But is she truly a powerful leader, or just a deeply divisive figure whose decisions have turned the town into a legal minefield and sparked public outrage? From questionable appointments to personal legal struggles, Henyard's tenure has spiraled into a political saga, with no resolution in sight. It all started with Henyard's controversial decision to appoint Ronald Burge as the new police chief. On the surface, this might seem like a standard mayoral appointment, but it quickly became clear that Henyard's judgment wasn't as simple as it seemed. Despite multiple warnings, she selected Burge, a man who was far from qualified for the I role. His certification with the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board had lapsed, meaning he was legally unable to carry a firearm or take on the responsibilities of a police officer, let alone lead an entire department. Yet, Henyard pressed forward, setting the stage for a legal battle that would engulf her and fuel even more public outrage. Burge's appointment wasn't just controversial because of his expired certification. It was also due to Henyard's disregard for proper procedure. The town's trustees warned her that she hadn't sought board approval or followed village ordinances. But Henyard, known for her defiance, ignored the warnings and went ahead with the hire. This resulted in an ongoing legal fight that's still unresolved today. But Henyard's troubles didn't start with Burge. Since taking office in 2021, she's been embroiled in a series of scandals and legal challenges. One of the most talked-about issues has been her lavish spending habits. Henyard faced heavy criticism for using taxpayer dollars to fund expensive trips, lavish dinners, and even a Valentine's Day party complete with a private DJ. These expenses were viewed as tone-deaf and irresponsible, especially in a town facing financial challenges. But this reckless behavior seemed to be just the beginning. Henyard has also been accused of surrounding herself with individuals of questionable backgrounds, people who appear more focused on consolidating her power than challenging her leadership. Take former police chief L. Lacey, another one of Henyard's appointments, whose certification was also inactive. Now, with Burge's controversial appointment under fire, those same concerns are being raised again. Henyard seems to prioritize loyalty and control over competence and legal standards. Despite official warnings from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, she continues to push for Burge's appointment, further stoking accusations that she values loyalty over Dalton's safety and legal integrity. As the Burge appointment controversy deepens, Henyard has found herself caught in multiple legal battles. One of the most recent developments saw the town's trustees filing a restraining order to stop Burge from serving as interim police chief. Initially, the judge sided with the trustees, ruling that Burge couldn't take the role without village board approval. However, after a chaotic board meeting, the judge reversed the decision, allowing Burge to serve in an interim capacity for 30 days. This short-lived victory did little to calm the waters, as the trustees, armed with a letter from the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, continued to argue that Burge shouldn't serve at all. After all, how can someone who's legally unable to carry a firearm or perform police duties be trusted to lead an entire department? This issue is more than just a political squabble. It's a matter of public safety. Henyard's actions have split the town. While some of her supporters believe she's challenging the status quo, her opponents are frustrated and alarmed by her repeated defiance of the law and local ordinances. It's hard to trust a leader who ignores the rules. Despite mounting scandals, Henyard remains defiant, even announcing her candidacy for a second term as mayor. This bold move came as a shock to many, especially given the chaos that's followed her time in office. Her initial election victory in 2021 was decisive, but now many are questioning whether her support still holds. With each new scandal, it seems her trust with the people erodes. Yet, Henyard thrives on controversy, using it as a platform to strengthen her grip on power. Her refusal to resign, even under intense public pressure, shows her determination to stay in control. But will this attitude help her secure another term? That remains to be seen. And one thing is clear: the road ahead won't be easy. As if her public controversies weren't enough, Henyard is now facing personal legal troubles that are spilling over into her professional life. Henyard and her partner, Kamal Woods, are being evicted from a rental property over unpaid rent, dating back to August. The landlord, Janetta Ho, who once considered Henyard a friend, has taken legal action after repeatedly failing to serve eviction papers. Adding to the drama, Ho claims that Henyard and Woods went to great lengths to avoid being served, even going so far as to change the locks on the property. This personal dispute has only added to the growing public distrust. How can a mayor be trusted to handle the town's legal and financial matters when she can't even manage her own? If Henyard can't handle her personal affairs, how can the people of Dalton rely on her to lead the entire town? As Henyard's personal and professional lives collide, the people of Dalton are forced to confront some hard truths. It's no longer just about her questionable political decisions. It's about whether she has the ability to lead effectively. With ongoing scandals, legal battles, and ethical lapses, many are left wondering if she's still the right person for the job. The situation in Dalton has all the elements of a political drama: a controversial leader, a town in turmoil, and a never-ending legal battle. With each new controversy, Henyard's hold on power seems more fragile, but her refusal to back down suggests that the drama is far from over. As Henyard gears up for her re-election campaign, it remains to be seen whether the people of Dalton will forgive her mistakes and give her another chance, or if the time has finally come for a change. Whether the weight of her scandals and legal troubles will finally catch up to her remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the political drama in Dalton is far from over. As legal battles continue to unfold and Henyard's controversial decisions dominate the headlines, the fate of her political career hangs in the balance. Will she weather the storm and come out victorious, or will the mounting pressure bring her down? That's the question Dalton residents and the wider public are eagerly watching. The mounting pressure from both personal and political challenges is proving to be too much for Mayor Tiffany Henyard of Dalton, Illinois. Her leadership has become the center of growing scrutiny, and residents are left questioning the future of their town. As Henyard struggles to navigate her many controversies, it's becoming increasingly unclear whether her time in office is drawing to a close. As the legal battles unfold, Henyard's tenure has become marked by a growing sense that her leadership is spiraling out of control. Her personal troubles, particularly an eviction battle with her landlord, have only added fuel to the fire. Henyard and her partner, Kamal Woods, are embroiled in a legal dispute with their landlord, Janetta Ho, who claims the couple has not paid rent since August, resulting in overdue payments and increasing tension. Ho has reportedly made several failed attempts to serve eviction notices, but says she's been met with evasive tactics from Henyard and Woods. The situation has become even more complicated as Ho alleges that Henyard and Woods changed the locks on the rental property, preventing Ho from accessing the home to perform necessary maintenance. This personal dispute involving a public official has only further tarnished Henyard's reputation. As mayor, she's expected to set an example for civic responsibility, but her actions suggest otherwise. Ho's comments about Henyard and Woods believing they are above the law have resonated with many Dalton residents who feel that Henyard is more focused on personal interests than on the well-being of the town she was elected to lead. The eviction case is just the latest chapter in a long list of scandals and controversies that have plagued Henyard's time in office. While her leadership has already been under heavy scrutiny for a series of questionable decisions, this latest debacle has intensified public dissatisfaction. It's not just the eviction case that's drawing attention. Henyard is reportedly under FBI investigation for potential financial misconduct related to both Dalton and Thornton Township, where she also serves as township supervisor. Subpoenas were issued earlier this year to both the town and the township as part of an ongoing investigation into Henyard's alleged misuse of public funds. The investigation focuses on questionable government contracts, excessive personal expenditures, and lavish spending on events that appear more fitting for a private citizen than a public official. These revelations have only fueled growing concerns about Henyard's ability to responsibly manage taxpayer dollars. The allegations of financial misconduct suggest a deep betrayal of the public trust, which Henyard was elected to uphold. As the investigation unfolds, residents are becoming increasingly frustrated, feeling that their hard-earned tax dollars are being squandered on personal indulgences rather than used to improve the community. Henyard's handling of Dalton's finances has also been a point of major concern. The village is currently facing a significant budget deficit, with some vendors claiming they haven't been paid for months. As financial difficulties mount, residents are left wondering how their taxes are being spent, especially when essential services are being impacted. This sense of fiscal mismanagement has sparked outrage, with many questioning how a public official could be so reckless with public funds when the town's future is at stake. Henyard's leadership has become increasingly out of touch with the needs of Dalton residents. While the town grapples with budget shortfalls and the fallout from her personal and financial scandals, residents are left asking why their mayor is spending time on personal luxuries and power grabs instead of addressing the town's critical issues. Ho's comments about Henyard and Wood's feeling they can act without regard for the rules have only reinforced the sentiment that the public is becoming disillusioned with a mayor who seems to prioritize her own interests above those of the community. Despite facing mounting criticism and calls for her resignation, Henyard remains defiant. She's doubled down on her leadership position, continuing to position herself as a target of political criticism, refusing to acknowledge the growing discontent among Dalton's residents. For many, this narrative has done little to soften their view of Henyard. Her leadership is increasingly seen as disorganized, incompetent, and disconnected from the needs of the people she was elected to serve. Henyard's actions in office, especially her lavish spending and failure to address critical community issues, have overshadowed any positive achievements she could have made. The public is more focused on her controversial decisions, financial mismanagement, and personal scandals than on any efforts to move the town forward. This has created a boiling point for Dalton residents, many of whom feel betrayed by the person they entrusted with the town's future. The stakes are high for Dalton residents, as each passing day makes the situation more dire. With Henyard's personal legal troubles compounding the already significant political turmoil, calls for accountability are growing louder. The federal inquiry into her financial conduct has added another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. A key point of contention is her alleged misuse of public funds. Recent reports revealed that Henyard spent an astonishing $443,000 in a single day on Amazon. A shocking revelation that has left many locals questioning how a mayor could spend so recklessly while the town is struggling with a massive budget deficit. The spending spree was just the tip of the iceberg. Further reports showed that Henyard used public funds for personal purchases at stores like Target, Walgreens, and Wayfair. Despite Dalton's ongoing financial struggles and a looming deficit nearing $5 million. Residents are understandably outraged, feeling that their tax dollars are being squandered on unnecessary luxuries rather than used to address the town's pressing needs. Henyard's financial mismanagement, coupled with her personal scandals, has made it increasingly difficult for her to maintain any semblance of public trust. The growing list of issues under her leadership has become too much for many to overlook. While she remains firmly entrenched in office, her support continues to dwindle as Dalton's citizens demand answers. The situation in Dalton has reached a critical juncture. Henyard's fate may be sealed by her inability to confront these mounting issues. Her leadership is under fire from all sides, from the ongoing eviction battle to the federal investigation into her financial conduct. It remains to be seen whether she can turn things around, but with every new revelation, her position becomes more untenable. The public is no longer willing to turn a blind eye to her actions, and as legal battles and public scrutiny intensify, it seems Henyard's days in office may be numbered. Dalton, Illinois, continues to face a growing financial crisis under Henyard's leadership, and recent revelations have only made the situation more precarious. The village's finances have come under intense scrutiny, especially after former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot stepped in to investigate. Initial findings from this investigation, published earlier this year, revealed the shocking state of Dalton's finances. The general fund balance had plummeted from over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of $3.65 million by May 2024. This sharp decline in the town's financial health has sparked outrage among Dalton residents, who are left questioning how their town ended up in such a dire position. Despite the mounting evidence against her, Henyard has remained resolute, strongly denying any wrongdoing. She's dismissed the accusations as part of a political power grab, accusing her critics of attempting to discredit her leadership. In a recent live session, Mayor Tiffany Henyard lashed out at her detractors, even threatening legal action against those who have criticized her. However, her combative attitude and defiant statements have only served to fuel public anger and skepticism. Many residents of Dalton have grown increasingly frustrated with her leadership, and her refusal to take accountability has left the community feeling more disillusioned by the day. Henyard's claims of being a victim of political targeting have done little to calm the growing mistrust. In fact, her continued defiance seems to be exacerbating the situation. As the financial crisis deepens, the consequences of her leadership are becoming increasingly tangible. Dalton is grappling with a ballooning budget deficit, rising legal troubles, and a general sense of instability that has left residents wondering just how much longer they'll endure under her rule. The town's future is uncertain, and its citizens are demanding answers. Amidst the turmoil, Henyard suggested starting a podcast to spill the tea and set the record straight, promising to address all the mounting accusations against her. However, these plans have yet to materialize. Instead, the public is left with vague, cryptic statements, and Henyard continues to point fingers at her critics without providing any substantial evidence to back up her claims. This lack of transparency and absence of hard evidence have only deepened the public's mistrust. Despite this, Henyard's defenders continue to back her claims, framing her as the victim of political sabotage. They portray her as a misunderstood leader fighting against a corrupt system, alleging that she's the target of coordinated attacks by political opponents and critics determined to bring her down. But for many Dalton residents, it's becoming increasingly difficult to view Henyard as anything other than a self-serving leader whose actions have directly contributed to the town's decline. The lack of concrete evidence to support her accusations has only further eroded her credibility, leaving the public with little faith in her ability to manage the town's growing challenges. The ongoing investigations into Henyard's questionable spending practices, including the alleged misappropriation of public funds, have only intensified the scrutiny surrounding her leadership. One of the most glaring issues is Dalton's growing budget deficit, which is rapidly approaching $5 million. Local officials and residents are voicing their frustration, pointing to Henyard's financial mismanagement as a key factor in the town's economic instability. Many feel that Henyard has focused more on defending her reputation than on addressing the financial issues that continue to plague Dalton. In addition to her fiscal mismanagement, Henyard is also entangled in personal legal battles that further complicate her leadership. She and her partner, Kamal Woods, are currently involved in an eviction case over unpaid rent on their Dalton rental property. This personal issue has only added to the public perception that Henyard is failing to balance her personal and professional responsibilities. Critics argue that her actions in both her professional and personal life demonstrate a lack of accountability and a disregard for the rules. As Dalton's financial crisis worsens, residents are growing more disillusioned with Henyard's leadership. The town is on the brink of financial collapse, and many citizens believe that Henyard's failure to address the fiscal instability has played a significant role in the town's current predicament. The situation has reached a boiling point, with residents and local officials calling for accountability. There is a growing belief that Henyard has not only failed to manage the town's finances, but has actively contributed to its decline. While Henyard continues to deflect blame and frame herself as the victim of political attacks, the public is becoming increasingly skeptical of her ability to lead. The legal investigations, financial mismanagement, and personal scandals are all taking a toll on her reputation, leaving many wondering whether she can recover from the damage done. The public's trust in Henyard has eroded to the point where it seems unlikely that she can salvage her position, let alone repair Dalton's financial state. Dalton has now reached a critical juncture. Residents are faced with a tough decision. Is Henyard truly the victim of a political conspiracy, or is she the central figure behind the turmoil that has engulfed their town? While Henyard maintains her defiant stance, insisting she's been unfairly targeted, the evidence against her continues to mount. From financial mismanagement to personal legal battles, her time in office appears to be on the brink of collapse. For now, the people of Dalton are left to grapple with the consequences of Henyard's leadership, which has come to be associated with chaos and instability. The financial mismanagement, legal troubles, and growing public dissatisfaction have left the town teetering on the edge. As the situation continues to unfold, it remains unclear whether Henyard can turn things around, or if her controversial leadership will ultimately bring her down. For Dalton's residents, the clock is ticking, and they are demanding answers. Will Henyard be able to deliver on her promises, or is the town's future in jeopardy under her rule? The public's frustration is mounting, and the stakes have never been higher.